Here to the first broadcast game in the mixed division of EUCF 2021. It is a clash of the Titans, 2 years in the making, as we have all come out from quarantine to play and have fun in the Belgian overcastness. You just saw one of the best European Ultimate games ever broadcast, and that was the first one. It's only going to go up, well, you know, as good and up from here as things get more intense. This matchup between the established power of GRUT, young, impertinent, and constantly nipping at the heels of greatness, and Guayota, coming from the beautiful island of Tenerife, swapping their blue seas for the grey skies of Belgium and looking to make a bit of an impact themselves. They have gone here before, and the power that comes out of those Spanish islands is not to be underestimated. As here come Guayota on offense. That's Pablo Dorta with the disc. Galbadoni and Dorta will be the two main handlers. Setting the stack, Gonzalez. There's a few Gonzalez, that Carolina Gonzalez. So you can expect the three of them to be touching a lot of disc. It's going to be a fun day. What do you think, Lorcan? I think it's going to be a great day, Lorcan. Because, unlike every other time, you only need one. As here we go. Dorta. Comfortably down the line, smoothly collected into the hands of Marquez. Marquez looks for Dorta in the middle again, floats it out to him. A lot of pressure from Morrison on Dorta, as that one bounces unfortunately out of the hands of the intended receiver. And here come GRUT storming right back. Kulin tries to get it bouncing eventually. And spreading it out further, as that is, that's Folk Shab, I thought, but some of these numbers and names we don't have entirely correct for the GRUT team, as that's a beautiful break to the end zone. That has to be Lola Dam, one of the most recognizable female players on the continent. So they're looking good. That's 2-0. Big shot to the end zone, and then lots of pressure getting a turn and a couple breaks to the end zone. Those GRUT know how to score in a lot of different ways, but Guayota still very much in this, just looking to find their feet. So to finish what I was saying about GRUT, they got fancy new jerseys ordered with sponsorship, and it was coming to them in time for the EUCF, obviously the biggest event in the European Ultimate calendar. Then they got delayed, as most things have been at some point in the past 2 years, much like this tournament itself. So they're operating on kind of a threadbare patchwork of different jerseys that have been handed around the team, which is extra confusing because GRUT opened themselves up in a way they hadn't really previously and brought in a lot of new players, young players coming up through that system, as well as some of the more established Dutch powers, such as Foka and Joram Messink, who I believe is playing for them. But it's difficult for me to keep track of these things because about 6 of them are all wearing the same number. You'll have to forgive me on that accord, as that was risky business down in the end zone by Dorta. Tasty little scooper over the top. Again, another drop. Not the easiest thing to catch, so we understand Gonzalez, Oscar Gonzalez this time, struggling a little bit with it. I think that is Joram. Centers it to the middle. Waiting there, Blasman. And Blasman, I got hand blocked, maybe drop the disc, as Guayota get another bite at the cherry. Another sniff at the shoe. As they're working their way comfortably, getting a few passes off. Putting it together. Nice, all the way to the opposite side. Now this is much better from Guayota, using their length, using their speed. Something you expect from the teams that play a lot on the beach. That's Gonzalez playing it down the line. And it's a beautiful pass. Marquez throws it in. And well taken for the score by Oscar Gonzalez. So that one, Gonzalez, Marquez, Gonzalez. I believe Oscar with the score in the end. And that's what Guayota can do. They are quick, they are nippy, and they can spread across the pitch. Not always with hugely expansive throws that you'd see from GRUT more often, but with the running and just hitting those quick half-pitch width breaks to open people. It's fantastic stuff to see, and I expect to see a lot more of it now they've settled down a little bit. Hopefully they can get those drops out of their system. But you see what it is. Once they get going, they don't stop. So now we will see GRUT on offense for the second time. That's pretty powerful. GRUT line. But I don't want to accidentally get someone's name wrong and then take hassle for it. As here they come. Oh, a bit of debate over who's going to get to pick up the disc. Blausman or Ort. Straight down the line to Janssen. Janssen and Ort, such established powerhouses. And then, I mean, if we're going to talk about GRUT, we're going to have to talk about Floor. I mean, she is a bit of a ceiling for the team as that gets right back into the middle for Janssen. Beautiful break as if they aren't even there on defense. Moncao looks for the pop. Gets it back, Blausman. Blausman in the middle. He has breaks available, and he's always going to look to take it. Janssen, so difficult to contain. They're right on the end zone line now. And there's a beautiful break into Ort. They make it look a little bit simple sometimes, don't they? Why, yes, they do, Lorcan. That's a great observation. You know what's another great observation? That there's still plenty of game left, and Guayota are starting to feel themselves a little. They haven't really put the defensive pressure on GRUT's O-line, but they are feeling their own way into the game offensively. So hopefully we can see more of that quick play from them, and then that will lead into the defense rising up to match the offense's effort. Guayota, who have a gorilla for a logo, for the obvious reason, like gorillas native to Tenerife. The only part of Europe where you would find the rare brown-back gorilla. You can look that up. That's definitely a real thing. So this has been a long time coming. EUCF 2021. A lot of teams scrapping and fighting to get here. A lot of procedures people had to go to depending on where you're coming from to try and make this as safe and secure an event as possible, which I'd say we have achieved for the most part, and we're very excited about. So now we get to see some quality Ultimate, and it's quality Ultimate all day long as well. And this is Thursday, the first day of a 4-day tournament. So we're going to be having a great time, and we're going to be having it for a while. Dorta immediately sets that up and passes to Galbaldoni. Back to Dorta. You will see how important Dorta is to the offense of this Tenerife side. Monteld, and back to Dorta. Every second pass, the man without sleeves and without fear as he launches that one deep. Lola's peeled off to help out, and she's going to get there first. It was a nice cut by Alvaro Monterd. He managed to get folk on the wrong side of him, but then Lola Dam, who's always so heads up with her defense, she just keeps eyes up, runs, knocks it down. As here come GRUT, and that's, I believe, Aaron, one of the newer additions to the team. Sends it into the middle. So a lot of fresh, young talent on this GRUT side, which we love to see. And they're spreading it out, really spreading it around some of the newer members. Shot all the way to the end zone. A few people trying to pick it up, and Aaron comes in and comfortably collects it. Lovely score by GRUT. They get the turn, and then it's just textbook working it down the pitch. It's going to be hard to stop. So GRUT have brought quite the squad here, with ambitions maybe looking further ahead than just EUCF this year. They do like to plan in broad strokes and then work out the finer details over the course of the seasons. Tweaking, tuning, tightening at all times. And right now, they look like they're doing a great job. Warming up in just the right way. And here comes the big pull, soaring through the air. And that's another player wearing Benjamin Ort's spare jerseys. I believe we have 3 Orts on the team right now. So you will have to forgive me for that. Perhaps a bit of a poachy look. They're going with zone, pointing out where the dangers are. I really thought that shot was going to be taken immediately, decided against it. Getting it across the pitch instead. Far sideline, Marquez. He's going to try and get it back in. That's nice down the line to Dorta. He has Marquez. Nicely played back. That's Gonzalez. As well as Travi nearby. Goes to Travi. This is good patience as Guayota are taking their time. Travi again, getting to know the zone, getting to feel it out. Dorta has the option to spread it. Instead, just pops it right back into the middle. That's Gonzalez. Travi. They have Gonzalez kind of sitting in the middle of that zone, trying to toy with Joram Messing, can pull him about the place so that they can shoot through it or shoot around it while the attention is elsewhere. It's great work. The handlers are just going to keep dumping it. A lot of it between Travi and Dorta. And now they've broken through. This is really good, and there's that quick passing playing they love to do. Gonzalez to Dorta. Dorta, he sees the deep shot on one side of the pitch, decides against it, opts to go back instead to the raiding Marquez. Travi, Marquez, Travi, and this is what I'm talking about with Guayota. Once they get going, they are difficult to slow down. Gonzalez is available, decides not to go for it, but instead Marquez goes straight ahead. Travi on the end zone line, turns away from the cut in the end zone. Instead, a big flick to Gonzalez in the middle. Comfortably popped into Marquez, and there's the shot to Dorta. That's how you play offense against a zone. Brilliant stuff by Griata. So, an offense that once it starts to hum can certainly play a tune or two. Now, can they exert any pressure on the GRUT offense, which up to this point has just looked slick, in control, smooth as they like to keep it? We've seen big shots, we've seen short ones. Can we see pressure ones? Well, that is down to Guayota and how much they can influence this very well established and very talented GRUT O-line. So a lot of overlap on these offensive and defensive lines for Guayota. There's Travi, big important player on the offense that time. Here comes Benjamin Oort. He sees Janssen go deep. He doesn't put it. Very surprising. Instead opting to shoot it downfield. Waiting there, Clertz. That's not surprising. Back to Ben. There's Blasman in the middle, but goes instead for the big sweeping dump pass. Almost stolen away. And then back into the middle, waiting there's Janssen, who throws a giant hammer that has not gone well, but it's red best by Ben Oort. I thought maybe Gonzalez would be able to box out, but Oort knew what he was where it was going and got there first. Clertz with the chance. Blausman. And they're just unafraid to give up that kind of territory going backwards because they know they can get it back going forwards. And Gonzalez is doing everything she can to stay close to Clertz, right on the shoulder. It is not an easy assignment. Ben Oort. Janssen goes to make a move, but instead it's all day to Clertz, even with the poach. They know each other so well. You'll never know them quite as well as that. And that's such a difficulty for defense when it's based on predicting what they're going to do. They have this internal timing. A lot of these group players have been playing together for a very long time by now. It's so difficult to be able to accurately predict what they're going to do and stop it effectively. As now Guayota look to respond. Lola Dam putting up the big disc, the Liam Grant idea for gender pulling, which is fantastic. And a lot of people love it, especially across Europe. It was a great pull. Dorta sends it back to the middle. That is a lovely cut downfield. Smoothly into the hands of Ortiz. And Guayota again, they get that first pass off and then they just start rolling. Working it down the pitch. Galbadoni back into the middle. Oh, had to stop themselves from almost throwing away. That was Andres. But a beautiful flick break all the way across the door for the easy pop in and score. And Guayota starting to feel themselves as they deserve to do. That's Marta Ortiz getting the final score. And you can see they move quickly. That was a fantastic break to Dorta to get just the easy pop open to Ortiz. Really well worked from Guayota. And that's, now that they've got a bit of the confidence coming into them, they are a very, very effective offensive outfit. But can they slow down the Dutch? We will see. So Guayota. I believe I have a player playing in a mask, which is very impressive. Oh, no, he's calling injury. Fair. I think that's Alberto Sanchez, who's just coming off the pitch with a mask. We hope he's okay. Travi going for the pull. And it's a good one. Oh, no, they're going to call offside, I think. Blausman collects. So, when offside is called, which is rare enough, especially this early into a tournament, so you have to imagine this is something that GRUT have talked about beforehand, like we're not going to just let people get away with offsides. They forced him to go all the way back. It was a nice pull. It sat well. The wind exists. It's persistent, if not pernicious. So just kind of gently breezing from the foreground to the background of your screens. Oh, and Ort! There's no gentle breeze about that. He lashes one deep to Janssen, who's for some reason is unmarked, which is just a rookie error against the GRUT side. As Janssen then just lunges it all the way back, all the way across. And sometimes they're just having fun out here. That was fairly impressive. Janssen, I should say, and Benjamin Ort have just been thrown to each other in high-pressure situations all over, I want to say the world at this point, effectively. And they just know each other inside out. Like, that was a huge shot. He knew Janssen was going to be in the right position, going to get under it. And then that second throw back to him, like, it wasn't the best executed, but it worked absolutely. And that's because they know each other inside and out. And also they like to show off for the cameras. I've been following these people, these guys, guys and girls, people, I was right the first time, following these people for quite a while. I'm something of a fanboy for GRUT, but you can see why when they're putting on things like that. I do also love the Guayota style. It's a lot closer to the way I used to play. That give, go, real quick, get to the breaks using your body so that the throws are easier on the players. And I love watching it. I think it's a fantastic way to play. It's kind of like almost the European version of the Japanese style. As Fuchshap just hurtles one all the way down into the end zone. That is one of the better pulls we've seen today, and probably one of the better ones we'll see. Because it's pinned Guayota right in their back corner. Although they work it out. Marquez manages to get it back to Galbadoni. Gonzalez. Oh, huge layup in from Folk. Throws the pull, gets the layout. And that's why they opened up their squad to some more imports. Fuka had been one of the established powers of Dutch Ultimate for a while, and they'd never let them in. And now they're starting to, and it just really shows you how powerful this team is going to be going forward. There's going to be a foul on that one. And that's much smoother into the waiting hands of Lola Tam. And a big flick break. Tries to get it across Doesn't work out. And Aaron! That's the second time Aaron has snuck in there and gotten a score for himself. Very well done. He's very quick. He's very young and talented. You can see there, smart, cleaning up plays, making the right moves. I believe Aaron Morrison. But again, isn't wearing his number because their kit didn't arrive. So if I'm getting any of these names wrong, I just want to stress it's not my fault. Just let me dodge that real quick. But we have halftime now. Guayota have been battling, but are down. They've shown that they can match them offensively for the most part. We played well against the zone the first time. Basically made them put it away. But GRUT know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a long time. Established power and are here. You can see them stretching, working into it.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the second half of action. High octane, big shooting, little scooting action. As you can hear me slowly work my way through the last of the sandwich that I frantically stuffed in my mouth during the ad for ULTI.TV. Please do remember, we bring this to you all for free on YouTube. No more paywalls, no more locking it behind subscriptions. We are trying to do everything we can to get Ultimate out there to make it as accessible as possible. We would love your help in this. We have a Patreon. You can go there. Donations, I believe you can go as little as £3 a month to help spread Ultimate all around the place. You don't have to buy DVDs anymore. It'll stay up on YouTube. We will keep it there. We have top quality coverage coming from great cameramen, brilliant crews who are dedicated to what we do. We love working with people like EUCF. We love working with all kinds of organizations like the EUF, like MESH in the UK. And we want to be able to go to far more tournaments than we already do. And we can only do that with the help from the Patreon. So if you like the content, please consider supporting it. And please consider supporting these two teams as well, Guayota and GRUT, in the opening match of their EUCF 2021 campaigns. Galbadoni with the disc. Just a little bit of discussion downfield. And that's a lovely break. Swings it down. Gonzalez. Oscar Gonzalez. Gets it into Patricia Gonzalez. See how tireless she can be making her way around the pitch. That's Carolina Gonzalez. That's a triple G right there. Oscar, Patricia, Carolina. And Gonzalez, Gonzalez, Gonzalez. And we come back in. Carolina Gonzalez. In for options. Nice cut downfield. And Lopez back into Mildred Dort. Just keeps his fingers around that one. Spreading it out wide. The wind's starting to jump up and mess around. And understandably, Travi has a difficulty corralling the disc. Yoram Messing, the man with a cybernetic knee. Walking to the disc. Has an open cut, immediately doesn't like it, instead goes for the break side, because look, that's just how he likes to do. Again, no jerseys, and I believe that's a newer player for GRUT, so I won't try and guess their name. I know for a fact it isn't Walt Janssen. But Yoram Messing, again, like Fuchsap, is another really established player. Again, someone else who's found a bit of joy in Ireland. Yoram playing with Pelt, great Pelt man. Fuch, who's had a turn or two on the Rebel side of things. Great players, established powers in the Dutch Ultimate, but always kept separate from GRUT for years through GRUT's design. But now they are opening themselves up and they're bringing in lots of talent from all over the Netherlands so they can be as powerful as possible, and maybe next time Worlds comes around, they can start taking a few scalps. That is the hope. As we head into halftime here, it is 8-3 to GRUT. A pretty dominating performance. They look fantastic whenever they have the disc in hand, and they look terrifying when they don't, which is a tough situation to be in if you're in Guayota. First game of the tournament, though, you're going up against one of the favorites. That's never going to be easy, but it's always going to be what you want, because that's why you come to EUCF, to play the best of Europe. So keep it here. ULTI.TV. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. These are very short halftime breaks, and I'm going to try and eat some more sandwich discreetly. And we are back in action. And we are ready to go. Second half of the mixed game. This is the first mixed game we broadcast. It wasn't the first one we were supposed to broadcast, but it is the first one we broadcast today. As first day of a 4-day tournament, there's always going to be a couple of hiccups as we get everything set up and battle the Belgian elements. Fortunately, I will not be having to battle loneliness anymore, as I am joined by the inimitable Hannah Pendlebury in the booth. How are you, Hannah?
I'm very well, thank you, Lorcan. As you say, it's been an interesting start to our day, but what an absolute barnstorm of that first game we streamed this morning was. And this one's shaping up to be pretty exciting too.
As we see Guayota looking to get going and work that give-go style that they love so much. And also, honestly, I'm a big fan of it as well. Gonzalez, far sideline, tries to get back into the middle, comfortably dumps it. Waiting there is Diaz. As everyone is downfield of him, and he sends a big shot all the way to the end zone. Well done by Galbadoni.
Still a bit of a slightly higher in the stall count there, but nice and smooth and easy does it.
And now, as lucky and blessed as I was to have Hannah Pendlebury join me in the booth for all of 1 point in the second half, and as lucky as everyone is at home to no longer have to endure straight Lorcan, which, let's be honest, you need a mixer. And there's few better in the mix than Christina Obermeyer. How you getting on, Christina?
Hey,
showing
thanks,
up
Lorcan.
A-OK and on time, as always.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for second half action. I think that's pretty decent. Yeah, I'm really excited watching live Frisbee. I hope all of you are too. And I think it's quite of a nice spread we got here.
So GRUT have been understandably incredibly impressive on the offensive side. Blausman, one of the younger ones coming in, just immediately hitting Janssen, and Janssen just launching it to Urt. But bit of a defensive pressure, not that it particularly matters.
Did you say but?
That's on me.
Still underestimating that guy. Ort has been one of the most important junior players in Europe for
I've
quite
seen him do that
some
so
time.
many times.
Exactly. Bye now, Lorcan. You should know better. I'm just saying. But
in my defense, there isn't an avenue in my life where you can't say that to me. I should know better about a lot of things, and I just don't.
You're right. Totally right. How could I forget? Blame on me then. Yeah. Well, decent effort though from the Guayota player. He was there. Can't blame him for that.
And it's the closest they've started to get, because in the first half they were throwing those shots and they weren't really getting a lot of pressure from Guayota, but starting to contest them. I mean, you know, that's your decision against Benjamin Ort. I personally wouldn't do that on a live stream, but Griata are here to fight.
Well, if you stop the fight, you won't even get us a few points in. So I think Griata did quite a decent job at that. Putting up a fight, they have to too, because GRUT is probably going to be the most intense team they're going to face now, and getting that over with early is quite well. They can focus on the other games as well.
But Guayota will not go quietly into the night. Gonzalez is in the back of her own end zone, but has been a real force for them. Gonzalez and Dorta, probably for my money, the two least phased Guayota players by the challenges ahead of them. As they keep working it, that's Dorta again. Thinks about the deep shot all the way down the pitch. Lopez is unmarked in a far corner.
I would have gotten that, taken that.
Christina, huge fan of boosting it, and that's why one of the many reasons we're a huge fan of her. The commentator's always calling for the boost. Now that's the kind of Guayota play. That's how they generally get to the break side, but they can't push past the zone as the wind is really starting to pick up now. Gonzalez, that was Travi to Dorta.
Kind of a zone, like overloading the backfield to get some open player somewhere.
Makes a lot of sense. I find overloading the rove, which is what I would describe as, it's a 3-3-1, like you say, the three handler marks, and then the two wings and the rove is the one in between them. That person was Yoram there and didn't have a huge amount of space to cover. So if they could spread it out a little bit more and then have someone with Gonzalez, because Gonzalez, and that's Patricia Gonzalez, to be specific, was doing a good job of attracting his attention to one side, but then nobody came in to attack the space, and instead they had to turn around and go for a shot into the wind. Bear in mind, the wind's died down again, but it was kind of blowing at the time. Anything towards our camera sideways across the pitch that's into the wind, like that scuba, which makes it difficult to bring down and gives this lurking, gnashing zone by GRUT the opportunity to take bites out of you.
That was perfectly summed up. I don't really know if I can add anything that would make it better. Well done,
well, keep trying, because it'll come to you.
Will it? Okay.
As we see, GRUT again going for a few newer faces, lining up 4 men. There's Griata, switching things up a little bit on the offensive end, but again, you see those talismans. Dorta, Travi, Gonzalez. That is a lovely pull, sitting and waiting. Volka showing why he was such a great addition to this team. Gonzalez makes a lovely cut, curves to the break side, and slips before they can get the next break side pass off, but then pops it back in. This is good from Travi. He's playing with real urgency. Marquez down the line, taken in by Lopez. Lopez again, and this is Guayota at their best. Quick, snappy plays. Gonzalez back into the middle to Dorta, as Marquez gets it to him. And they continue it, swinging all the way around. Just too high for Patricia Gonzalez. Unfortunate, because that was some fun offense.
That was beautiful offense. They were free all the way, but didn't help them.
Folkshap thinks about sending it deep, but doesn't. Much to my personal disappointment. But it's understandable. They're trying to work their way around. Lola Dam. Lopez is there to put the pressure on. How does Dam pull that off under the pressure of 2 defenders? Lopez gets the first touch. Travi tries to come in and get the second, and Dam, Ole, pulls it away from that bull. And that's a lovely under, but things getting a little bit unglued as you start to see GRUT use the outer extremities of their squad.
Yeah, they definitely want to get some groove in, as is wise to do if you're up by that much.
And it's going to be a long 4 days, so they're going to be battling as Travi Takes his time, relaxes, and eventually gets it. That's Gonzalez, Carolina. To Patricia Gonzalez. Carolina. Smooth and relaxed, which is exactly what they need. Foca almost gets there. Marquez is able to hold on. Has Dorte in front of him, but also has Gonzalez. Brilliant cutting by Patricia Gonzalez and gets the score.
Beautiful work there from Guayota. They got the D back and then played it the way they first started playing offense, really easily, nicely, and calm. That's definitely what they needed there, and they saw that they can do it, and they put the D line under pressure, and a couple more of those, and then we'll see what that game gives us the end of it.
You have to take a bit of a long view as well in these kinds of situations. They've put it together a few times, and offensively, I think they have grown into the game, and when they can get it going, it looks beautiful. Doing it under the kind of pressure that GRUT put on isn't easy, but it is exactly what you want in your first game. So you'd be like, all right, welcome to the tournament. This is the standard. It's been a while since we were at the European Championships. Been a long time for all of us.
Especially if GRUT is your first opponent. There's gonna not be a lot you can do. We all know GRUT is very impressive, and just getting these and putting your offense in and then maybe pressuring them a little bit when you're on D is probably all you can do. But this
great place to start.
Exactly, and you wanna pressure them a bit. That can be a goal for your team. Pressure them on their offense.
Well, let's see if they can put any pressure. Benjamin Ort unmarked for a good 3-4 seconds. Waits till his mark arrives and launches it deep. Beautifully measured. Same third, and Janssen gets the score. It's tough for Guayota because how do you stop that? Like, all of Europe's been trying to work out how to stop that for a while.
You know, Liam, look. Ha! Liam. Okay, he's gone. Lorcan, I think if anyone knew how to stop that, people would have done that years ago. But there's definitely not a lot you can do if Janssen and Ort do that together. I just probably. All right, I'm on my own. That's fun. I love talking. So I'm really impressed with GRUT's performance, and I think it's just a little pity that they don't use their women that much, because I'm pretty sure like putting all of your offensive players in the mix is a good thing to, when you start your first game, because your Ort and Janssen will have to be their best at the end of the tournament, and already putting them on a spot that many times is in the first game is tough.
So just to recap, because I think I caught what you said correctly. Hi, this is definitely Lorcan, by the way. So you think that GRUT are using their male matchups too much?
I think so. I think like getting to know your team is really important at the beginning of a tournament, and I appreciate that they do their offense they punch in their offense points easily, but like using your whole team is what's gonna is gonna let them go all the way.
Absolutely, but I mean, you know, this is the first game of the tournament, so hopefully their coach on the sideline will be able to pick that up and say, hey, your women are great, use them. But I'm going to metamorphosize now, back into the green shape of Lorcan Murray.
As getting the disc is Monteld, taking their time against this zone. Again, you can see Joram being that rove, just being that pest all the time. Gabaldoni just about able to get that one slotted in. Monterd again working with Gabaldoni. And you can see him directing traffic, the veteran. Putting where he wants him, thinks about the hammer. Trying to move that force around. Well-timed up run. And collects it. Diaz spreading it out a bit wider now to Monterd. Diaz again. And Diaz loves doing this. We saw it in the first half. Just doing those little running along, dribbling almost, as some people would call it. Gabaldoni around to Gonzalez. Diaz. And there's the pop over the defender. Beautiful work and comfortably collected for the score.
They definitely played very well against that zone right now. And that is exactly what they needed, showing that they won't be pressured by the bodies of GRUT on the defense there. Beautifully popped in for the score.
I feel like GRUT might be taking out the zone just to try it out, to try and get a little tighter with it, because it's honestly probably the most comfortable Guayota look on offense. They have torn through it, I think 2 if not 3 times now. GRUT did get a turn, but it was a bit more of a drop than anything else, and I thought they put more pressure on them using their match defense.
Definitely. But for right now, as I said that before, just trying out different connections and getting a different team to practice your zone looks is also really important, because at practices, the people you're playing against already know what you're doing, because obviously all of them, like everyone's introduced to the concept of their zone and also already have a lot of time to figure out a way through. But we're having international matchups and people that have never seen that type of zone before, there's maybe a different angle people approach it, and that you can learn a lot from that.
It's a great point, especially when you're going with someone like Guayota, whose most comfortable form of offense is so effective against that zone. As Benjamin Ort throwing it to Janssen. It's almost like they're just magnetically attached to each other. Floor, Glurtz. We know that she's got plenty of big throws in the bag. Gets it back to Janssen. Very involved this game, Janssen. Really doing an awful lot for the GRUT side. Blausman, who's looked comfortable and like he belongs on this O-line all game long. So we got a pick downfield.
Definitely, all these players on the GRUT O-line, a lot of them have been playing together for quite some time. And
I think we can
they are probably attached a bit to each other, Janssen and Ort. Just know each other so well.
And that is a risky pass that I would honestly say he got away with rather than he pulled off. So that's Jan Janssen, gets it back to Ort, who apparently stayed in there. I'm not close to that sideline, so it's understandable I don't see it. Lovely scooping pass to Blausman, and then there's Janssen. Oh, that's why she's so open. Pick called, so the play goes back. But really patient. If you've ever run the end zone drill, this just looks like they're running the end zone drill.
Yeah, exactly. We do that in practices as well. Just like as many times as you score a goal, you can still keep the disc and run on. And I'm pretty sure they do that too, because that is a very effective drill to perfect that calmness.
Ort, and his hat comes off for the second time today. That pass shouldn't have worked, but did. And when you're good and lucky, you can't be stopped.
No, Guayota can't do anything against that. Ort is really trying to put a lot of float and a lot of touch on his throws. That's why that worked out in the end, because he's like putting a lot of love. And you know that feeling when you throw and you're like, just putting it out there with a lot of good feeling in your gut. That is a love.
I've been in lockdown for a while. I'm up for meeting new people. I'm just putting it out there.
Okay.
You know?
If
seeing
anyone
if anybody wants it.
Good luck with that, Lurkin. So
I've tried. GRUT won't have me. Which is, you know, a very smart decision.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, Ben Ort really doing that well, putting a lot of float on his disc. That's why I don't necessarily agree with you that he got away with the inside shot, but I actually think that is a very good option, because if you put a lot of float on it and arcing it outside a little bit, it's going to arc away from the defender, and the player has enough time to collect it on the backside.
You're right. You're right. I still think the way it was trailing, it left a lot of
Yes.
work for the receiver. Had to get there quick,
Of course.
and did. So
If you have receivers like that, can put up whatever.
that are that reliable. Fuka, big one, and waiting there. Gabaldoni. These pulls have been phenomenal. All game long, he has just pinned them at the back of their end zone. Carolina in the dump position, being marked by Lola Dam, so you can understand why they go to Gabaldoni instead. Gabaldoni looking for options. Nothing really straight available. Instead has to launch one deep. It was a great cut by Gonzalez. The disc was always wrong edge.
Of course it was.
By wrong edge, we mean tilting the wrong way, so constantly curving away from the streaking Patricia Gonzalez and not towards. As they
He
get
might
back in the middle, that's Epstein.
Might have just looked for an out there. High stall count.
As that one goes over the head, that's one way. Huck and D to play the sport, certainly in Ireland when the elements are raging. Gabaldoni.
Works.
Dorta. Gets it across. Gonzalez. Few options in front, but doesn't really like the look of too many of them. Very shallow cuts that Guayota do. Trying to move side to side quickly and then attack. So there's the shot to the break side. Diaz gets it across the Dorta. And now they'll look to recycle. Yes, Diaz again in the middle. Just cuts back. Gabaldoni tries to go up the line, clears some space for Gonzalez. She takes that one with confidence. Gabaldoni. We know he's got breaks. He's also one of the leveler heads on this Guayota side.
Definitely doing a lot of work in the red zone for the Griata team. As there's a lot of bodies in a small area, and I think there was an injury. Someone from Groot side getting off the field.
Gonzalez, front of the end zone, and gets it to Diaz for the score. And they're so quick.
Yeah, exactly. They're used to playing on beach, and you can really see that because in terms of athletics, I think they're very evenly matched. The Guayota team has a lot of quick turnarounds and quick cuts that are always open, and they manage to get a lot of side-to-side swings on. Not a lot Groot did against that.
It is interesting when you see the beach teams come out, and it's their own like little unique way of playing. You see it with the Spanish national team as well, the Portuguese team, a few times they've shown up. And it's a different style. It is almost more give-go, shorter passes, a lot more sideways action.
I also have a theory on that, on the whole style of playing.
Go on.
They don't use the deep shots a lot that much because their fields are never that deep. Because for Groot, they're used to playing on a grass field that is 100 meters long.
Right.
But
and they're
Guayota,
Dutch, so they're very rangy as a people.
Exactly. But Guayota is playing on beach most of the time, and the fields aren't that long.
We've
so
seen
maybe
one
a deep shot isn't the best option for them. Not something they do a lot. Whereas those quick give and goes, especially on sand, are super useful.
Klertz has Blausman. Diaz is sneaking around. He is working his tail feather off as Blausman puts up the inside out flick. What was that? Oh, and Janssen can't come down with it. Lots of defensive pressure. More shots like that, though, please.
I don't think so, because he nearly hit Floor Culottes in the face when he released that. She was going for the up line, and he just threw the side of her head, her looking back like, what was that? Why did you do that? I was so open.
Fair. If someone as good as Floor is open, you really should give it a diss. But at the same time, I am a sucker for an inside-out huck. I just love them. And you rarely see anyone who isn't Japanese throw them. Big-time defensive pressure. Really hard work.
Fleur definitely showing why everyone already knows her. Beautiful defense there.
Blausman. Ort. He can't keep that hat on his head. Blausman goes up the line. Ort opts for the break. Klertz says no. Blausman is having a hard time escaping the interests of Diaz. Diaz refusing to give anything easy. Foul. So they have a bit of extra time now. Short range break. Ort says no and instead goes for the quick pop. And that's just a team that knows each other.
Exactly. Beautiful lefty there. Lefty throw from Floor Culottes to get out of the very intense situation in front of the end zone and just pop pass it after pop pass to get the goal.
So, a couple of turns. Not something you'd really expect out of the GRUT O-line. We've maybe seen them, I think that might have been their first turn. And it was a drop, really. Like, there was good defensive pressure down there in the end zone, but Janssen thinks he's thinking I'm catching that 9 times out of 10.
Yes, it is. It was a drop. I can agree with you on that. And on the other hand, they don't have to take those shots. Like,
boo! What? Yes, they do. They're on live stream.
I know. Like, I love seeing it. But just for the theory of playing good ultimate.
Oh.
Putting up.
I'm very unfamiliar with that.
If you say so. I'm not going to comment. That might be better for a minute. But for this, they don't have to, like right now, the score, they don't have to push that.
I'd like to see him air it out though, Gabaldoni. And again, this is his zone. GRUT are going with it one more time. Dorta, just relaxing, gets it to Gonzalez. Just shaking, not letting the zone settle. They're not oh, there's a huge hammer all the way across the pitch. Now that came out of nowhere, but will be staying in the memory. And then the nice pop in for the score. Some throw, Dorta to Montero.
That's what we want to see. Beautiful hammer. They do have it in them. Like that
came out of nowhere. How are we supposed to know they had that in them? That was mental.
We're seeing it now.
True.
If they had thrown that all the other games, we wouldn't have seen it. now we have.
That's another thing to think about, because this is your first pool game. You've got power pools after this. You've got games to get into the quarterfinals. It's a long campaign here, the EUCF 2021, brought to you by ULTI.TV, for free on YouTube. Do you show some of your weapons, some of your plans now, or do you holster them? Kind of like with the Mooncatchers cusp game we saw earlier on. Mooncatchers, I believe only once or twice had both Yonkers brothers on the pitch at the same time.
Did they?
And then Cusp themselves were, it felt like they were holding a little bit back at the start. So do you think that maybe a little bit of what's happening here, or you just start throwing whatever you can?
Well, it really depends on what you're aiming for. I think this event, this team is these teams are here to play their best and to probably show themselves on a European stage or just have fun. And whatever you want to look for is having fun.
Like giant shots deep from Ort. I think that might be Moncao underneath it. Takes it so comfortably.
Yeah, that was a fun throw.
That was two throws. Yeah. Threw it to a girl. You're saying
Yay.
they don't do that too much? I disagree with that, for the record. I think Ort and Janssen throw it to each other a lot because they're lovers. But outside of that's Waltz and Benjamin throw it to a lot because they're lovers.
Right.
In like, not in like a sexual way, in that deep, unbreakable way that is so rare but so beautiful.
Definitely.
And they just love playing with each other and doing things like that. And sometimes maybe they overindulge a little, because at the same time, like, you got someone like Issa Moncao, who wouldn't be the first thing that would come to your mind when you think GRUT, but is so quality. And they have that kind of quality and depth.
The thing is, if you want to be a well-rounded team that dominates, you have to have a few intense people that really can like pull you out of every situation. And then you have to have a huge amount of depth. And a lot of players that can do every basic thing good. Play good defense, play good offense, and then throw well.
Those players are hard to come by.
All of them are. In my opinion, the people on GRUT all have the basics, and then there are a few people that are better.
The fundamentals.
And you need, you need a few people that are better, that can do the amazing hucks and skies and stuff, but you don't need a team full of those people, because that's too much.
That's a great point.
Between all the
Never
greatness.
really thought about it like that before. As Dorta, for a second, thought he was going to throw it deep, but they haven't done it once, much to Diaz's chagrin. As Diaz gets the disc. Nice pop. Spreads it out wide, just about gets there in time. Marquez all the way across to Gonzalez. That's a beautiful swing and a great score.
All right, GRUT is on offense now. Could be the last point if they stay as clean on their offensive side as they have all game long. And we can see Ort streaking deep, and Janssen totally free on the break side is going to put it into Flor Culotz's hands. She's looking end zone, not quite yet. Cow into the middle, over to Minard. Minard looking for someone, doesn't get a lot of options. Pops it over to the backside to Ort. Ort in front of the end zone, just there. Magic pass into the zone, and GRUT win it.
Just a reminder, we are here for 3 more days of action, which includes plenty of top quality games, including one of the best, I'll say it again, one of the best broadcasts you'll be
gonna be a banger. Excuse me, top quality all the way. Also, if you want to get involved into choosing who we are streaming, there's still a poll open, I believe. So, if you're a patron, you can. And when you're already at it, just press the like button, subscribe to ULTI.TV. You will get updates then. Just doesn't hurt to click that button, but just really do it, because that helps us a lot and doesn't take you anything but the quick movement of your fingers.
Morgan, we can't hear you. Morgan, can't hear you.
Thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. That was a fantastic game, and just a taster of what we've got left to come. Like Christine was saying, you've got to like, subscribe to the games. Much like three wonderful people doing some Patreon, Ollie Gray, Griata, and Schultz. When you're a patron, you get to do things like pick up games. So we'll be taking 4 Thursday, 5 Thursday, tomorrow evening. The games get into the quarterfinals. It's a pretty intense game.
For Christina Obermeyer, and we'll see you soon.
ULTI.TV